and it's really hard to step off and do this. And truthfully, honestly, I wanted to bring this up when we were talking too. I think I'm 13 days into it now, and I see the benefit of the power list. I just started a power list journal.
We just started it.
I just started in my pocket.
I'm so happy for you.
13 days in, bro, and I went from having a journal I journal in actually to having one I carry around that's just the power list.
You're following like Andy Frizella's true power list.
Exactly.
Episode true power list, like 107 of
206 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like mine is just, like how kind of exactly what he says too. Like you don't put the things you do every day on it. So like checking emails, sometimes like
that's doing your job.
That's doing my fucking job.
Yeah.
Prepping is never a part of that list. That's my fucking job. Doing an event is never part of that list. But doing little things like tomorrow will probably be pick up microgreens, send Katie the information I typed up today for what I expect out of her, like little things like that. And I see how you move the momentum forward. And I see how I don't know if Nick's implemented this yet or not, but I see how right now I think I'm a little more into it than he is, with other opportunities that we've had presented to us. I think he's distracted by some of that still. And so I see having the power list and things like that. I see how you can fucking track your progress. You feel good because you're moving forward every single day. And it I don't know, it feels good. It has me super motivated to do those things. It focuses you, exactly.
And that's what it comes down to is because when you have personalities
we're all over the fucking place, dude.
You and I are so all over the place with ideas and hype. And I'm very fortunate to have people like Gilmar and Ariel that can kind of tell me when my ideas have gotten too exorbitant. But the power list is, I do my version of the power list now, just kind of highlighting specific goals that I have to focus the energy. But I think that the power list focuses you because it takes away all of the things you have to do. And just says, what are the 5 most important things you have to do to move the ball forward, and only do those things.
Exactly.
And then when you're done those 5 things, that's a good day.
Well, you also
my biggest problem was I'll work until I'll get up at 4 a.m. and I'll work until I drop and still not be happy with my day.
And not be satisfied with myself.
So that's my biggest benefit from the power list. And I'm still struggling with it. I'm very not.
Well, you write down these 5 things, and I think about it to myself all the time. I'm writing down these 5 things to knock off, and I know I'm going to knock off these things. I know that I'm going to get pulled in 5 other directions that day, and I'm going to also accomplish 5 other things outside of this, which is also awesome. But especially, I feel like for me at least, I do it at night before I go to bed, or before I really settle down for the night. So it kind of allows me to reflect on what the day was just like, which is very beneficial for a nighttime routine.
Okay.
But then I also understand when I wake up in the morning of what my fucking day is going to look like and what I want to accomplish for this day. So I know when I wake up for the first, I usually do a lot of my admin, I call it admin work. Usually once I wake up, I'll make coffee, I'll sit at my island in our kitchen, and now I know where to focus for those 2 or 3 hours before I have to go to the kitchen and start my actual
Because
day.
Your list for that day is set the day before?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. I always do the day before. Always, yeah. So before
if you're making your list the day of,
it can be a little scatterbrained. You're kind of scattered.
That would kind of take, because you're already in it.
Exactly. So just me personally, I like doing it the night before. I think it's a way, again, to decompress the day, look at what you've done, think about what needs to be done tomorrow. It's also keeping me from getting too ahead of myself, which I think we probably both do a lot.
Yes.
Of getting way too far in advance. There's certain things that I can't
You can't skip steps.
Exactly. Or I don't know, there's people that I want to clarify things with, but man, that fucking event's not for 2 months. I'll fucking wait. I can wait. There's something that needs to be handled today.
I always throw that stuff, I have a master list.
Yeah.
And then, because I have so many things going on that sometimes I need to go through the master list to make my power list to be oh shit, that is really important.
Exactly.
I would have missed that one. So I'll occasionally, and my master list can be, I think it's 250 things right now.
Holy shit, dude.
So it's kind of whenever I've learned that whenever I have an idea or I think of something, it goes either whatever I'm writing or on my phone, and then it goes into the master list, and my master list is tracked. I track what date it was input.
Okay.
And then I mark it complete, and I leave it in there as complete, and every now and then I'll refresh it and clear it out.
I'm really bad at doing like the when I get an idea or a note, I'm really bad at writing it down right away.
I write it down to get it out of my head.
I'm terrible at that.
Because the problem is if I think of something, I might act on it.
Yeah.
So if I put it on that list, I know I won't forget about it. I'll eventually act on it so I can like relax about the thing. Be like, I know it's not that important right now. It is important.
But it might be.
But I won't forget about it. I'll come back to this.
Yeah, I do that a lot. Anna gave me a little book, and I just write if I have a design idea, I just draw it.
Because it's just like that creative, that builder energy.
Terrible
It's just like you just get it. When you get the juice,
you get carried away.
You just go with it. And there's a lot. The artist book that I gave you guys.
Yeah, dude, which was fucking Ammon's reading it right now. It's awesome.
Did you read it?
The War of Art. Fuck yeah, I read it.
Yeah, so we'll wrap up the show, but the War of Art
awesome
is like when I read that book, it reassured me the way I do things. It kind of it could probably be done faster, and I'm like trying to get better at tracking all the information I'm responsible for. And I think that book helped clarify that when you get in that zone, that juice moment where you like get the momentum, you do not stop. You cancel everything.
Well, I also
like
think
you clear your schedule. He was talking about in that book that like there'd be times where he'd be writing and his wife would just like cancel their dinner reservations because she knew like he's in it right now. This is like the energy's flowing because tomorrow it might not be here. So when you're creative, like sometimes when you are feeling it, your instinct is to just go after it. And like when you're like, I feel like a lot of times I have a foot in both worlds.
Yeah, sure.
And you do, I see you do too. Yep. And now you do too, because like you're running your clothing line and designing it.
Yep.
So when you're doing both, you have to like move a rock over here in business world, but you also have to like do this. Like right now I got to design new shirts for the new company and all that stuff to get the vibe out there for all you guys that wear all the drip.
I really took off my sweatshirt the other day and I had an all neck shirt underneath it. I was like, oh my
see,
God.
Like, so I know a lot of people that like, but like making gear is like number 56 or something like that on the list.
Exactly.
So I keep coming back to it. I know it's important. And one of these days I'm probably going to be a selfish asshole and blow away an afternoon
and do it,
figuring all that out when I shouldn't. And it'll be like some selfish time, but like my list is kept in order of like, I try and keep it somewhat in order of importance. Cause I know if I time collapse everything I need to do and I do specifically what I need to do when I need to do it, like my rise,
it's going to happen properly,
will happen more efficiently.
Yeah. I think that book was really cool, at least for me, where it was kind of saying like, you're always going to feel resistance. And I like how the whole book was about resistance and not wanting to do your things. And it's saying, like, if you don't want to fucking do it, sit down. Like, it could be trash, but you fucking did it at least.
Yeah, and the cool idea about resistance is the highest when you're reaching that point. Like, when I had to make the decision to stay in business for myself or go out, like, that's when the resistance was the highest.
Yep.
I have to choose right now. When the resistance is the highest, that's when you double down.
Yeah, exactly.
You always double down when you're about to quit.
You double down.
That's when you double down.
That's what I thought was
and
cool
I've been doing that consistently for a long time. And the times that I didn't double down was when I hit setbacks.
Yep. It was a great book.
So like now I'm just like, especially after this last year of like stress and things like that, I've fairly committed to the double down lifestyle now.
I also always like in things like that, and in all walks of life, in all careers, and all things that like, I always just like hearing how everybody goes through things like that. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody's scared. Everybody feels resistance. Everybody's unsure about what's going to happen next or what they're going to do next. Or everybody doesn't have things figured out, but they fucking do it anyway. Like, I like hearing those things because I don't know. It just...
You guys are doing it right now. You're figuring out the farm. You guys are serving like badass. You guys came up with an awesome idea out of resistance.
Exactly.
The dinner idea came out of the resistance of the farm not going the way you guys anticipated it. Now you have a badass dinner idea that I know is going to kill. Like that idea is...
So I like that part of the book. I like reading anything about that. I like fucking hearing Andy Frisella still talk about how every day is hard for him. Every day he doesn't want to show up. every day is a challenge to get out of bed, but he fucking does it anyway.
To be on the billionaire track.
You know what I'm saying? I like hearing that from people, and it reminds me that like, okay, it's no different. You know what I mean? Like, and even with us, we go through them like everybody does. Like some days you don't want to do it at all. Some days it aren't fun. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, cool. We have this pretty interesting thing. We get to meet people all the time. It's fun, but it's also very energetically draining. It's very physically draining. It's very spiritually draining. And so like, not every fucking day you want to go up and do it, but I think it's those days that you don't want to is when it's most important. And I like hearing writers talk about that. I would never think a fucking writer has that, experience. And so I like writers. That stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Easy ass job, dude. All you got to do is put words on paper.
Yeah,